The air is thick with patchouli and the faint scent of boiled lentils. Annie Lennox, 21, Scottish, striking, with a gaze that could hold a note. A Royal Academy of Music dropout, is waitressing in a bohemian vegetarian restaurant. She is restless, a classical talent yearning for the electric shock of modern music. Enter Dave Stewart, 23, English, eccentric, a guitar wizard with a penchant for the chaotic, recovering from a severe car accident and carrying a guitar case like a life raft. Their eyes meet. The connection is instant, an intellectual and creative spark that quickly flares into a passionate, tumultuous romance. The romance fuels their first proper band, The Tourists, initially The Catch. They sign a deal, release 3 albums, and score a minor UK hit with a cover of I Only Want to Be With You. They are a new wave band struggling to find a unique voice, overshadowed by punk and the emerging synth-pop scene. The pressure cooker of touring, recording, and their intensely emotional relationship implodes. In a hostile atmosphere in Australia, the Tourists violently disintegrate. The romantic relationship between Annie and Dave shatters, leaving both heartbroken, broke, and creatively adrift. Annie V.O. It was the most painful breakup of my life. But the music had become something else. A lifeline. We realized the only way to survive the loss of us was to keep the two of us working. The Converted Warehouse, London 1981. Annie and Dave retreat to a derelict, rat-infested warehouse loft. They pour their remaining money into synthesizers, a drum machine, and a reel-to-reel tape machine. It is cold, unstable, and creatively fertile. This is the official birth of Eurythmics. They are determined to be a duo, focusing on electronic experimentation, free from the constraints of a traditional band setup. Their debut album, In the Garden, 1981, produced by legendary krautrock pioneer Connie Plank, is a dark, experimental, but commercially disappointing effort. The only charting single, Never Gonna Cry Again, hints at Annie's expressive vocal power, but the world is not listening yet. Facing imminent financial ruin, Dave begins experimenting with a repetitive, menacing bass loop on an analog synthesizer. Annie, sitting nearby, feeling the weight of their despair and resilience, suddenly improvises a vocal melody. Annie, O.S. Sweet dreams are made of this. The result is Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. It is a stark, hypnotic, and uniquely haunting track, a celebration of survival disguised as a pop song. It becomes their Hail Mary pass. The accompanying music video is a stroke of genius and a pivotal moment for MTV. Annie Lennox, with close-cropped, vibrant orange hair, dressed in a man's suit, looking confrontational, androgynous, and utterly compelling, shatters the hyper-feminine pop star mold. This image, combining high art, gender fluidity, and a punk attitude, captures global attention. Dave, V.O. We knew the sound was unique. But Annie's look, the strength of her presence, that's what made the world stop and stare. The single explodes, becoming a worldwide #1 hit and the title track of their breakout second album, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, 1983. The re-released single, Love is a Stranger, also rockets up the charts, confirming their breakthrough. The duo immediately capitalizes on their momentum with the powerful third album, Touch, 1983, which reaches #1 in the UK. They prove they are not a one-hit wonder but masters of cinematic synth-pop, balancing icy electronics with Annie's warm, soulful vocals. Major hit, Who's That Girl? A UK top 3 hit that further explores androgyny and shifting identity. Major hit, Here Comes the Rain Again. A majestic orchestral synth ballad that becomes a major transatlantic hit, showcasing their sophisticated production. They also composed the soundtrack for the film 1984, yielding the dark dystopian hit Sex Crime 1984, demonstrating their ability to blend commercial pop with high Eurythmics pivot sharply away from pure synth pop towards a more organic, band-oriented sound steeped in American soul, R&B, and rock. The album Be Yourself Tonight, 1985, is recorded with session legends and features major collaborations, broadening their appeal exponentially. Major hit, Would I Lie to You? A ferocious, bluesy, rock-tinged track that dominates US radio. Major hit, There Must Be an Angel, Playing With My Heart. Their only UK #1 single, a soaring gospel-infused masterpiece featuring a harmonica solo by Stevie Wonder. Major hit, Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. A powerful, iconic duet with the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, instantly cementing itself as a feminist anthem. Annie Lennox, shedding the suits for a more glamorous yet still powerfully assertive image, becomes a true global pop icon. The momentum continues with Revenge, 1986, an album embracing arena rock energy. Major hit, Missionary Man, a slide guitar, blues rock stomper that earns them a Grammy Award for Best Rock Performance. Major hit, Thorn in My Side, a huge driving pop hit. They follow this with Savage, 1987, a return to experimental, darker electronic sounds, featuring more conceptual music videos written and directed by Annie. The album We Too Are One, 1989, is a commercial success, reaching #1 in the UK. However, the decade-long intensity, the constant cycle of writing, recording, and touring takes its toll. Annie and Dave, though professionally united, are creatively exhausted and need space to pursue individual projects. They announce an indefinite hiatus. Major hit, Don't Ask Me Why, a reflective, melancholic single that serves as a fitting, if bittersweet, goodbye to the decade. The duo finds massive success apart. Dave Stewart becomes a highly sought-after producer, composer, and collaborator, working with Tom Petty, Mick Jagger, and others. Annie Lennox launches a spectacular solo career, releasing the multi-platinum debut Diva, 1992, with massive hits like Why and Walking on Broken Glass. Her solo work establishes her as one of the definitive female vocalists of her generation. Motivated by shared humanitarian concerns, Eurythmics reunite to record the album Peace, 1999, and launch a world tour, raising funds for Amnesty International and Greenpeace. Major hit, I Saved the World Today, a critically acclaimed, lush, and introspective single signaling their creative reconciliation. In 2005, they released the Ultimate Collection and one final original single, I've Got a Life, which reaches the UK Top 20, confirming their enduring relevance. Eurythmics maintains an officially active but selectively collaborative status. They reunite for one-off performances, most notably their powerful induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. Their story remains one of the most compelling in pop history. A painful breakup that forged one of the most creatively fertile partnerships of the modern era. From the icy experimental synths of the early 80s to the anthemic soul rock of the mid-80s, Eurythmics defined an era led by the singular powerful voice of Annie Lennox and the visionary sonic architecture of Dave Stewart. The final image is the two of them, standing side by side on a stage, decades later. The tension is gone, replaced by mutual respect and a powerful shared legacy. The intro to Sweet Dreams kicks in, and the crowd erupts. The story of Eurythmics is a masterclass in turning personal trauma into artistic triumph. Spanning over 4 decades, the partnership of Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart defied musical boundaries, transitioning seamlessly from experimental electronic new wave to soulful pop and arena rock, all while maintaining a singular creative voice. Their career trajectory is defined by bold reinvention and a string of global anthems. Sweet Dreams are made of this, 1983, the iconic unsettling synth-pop track that broke them worldwide. Paired with Annie Lennox's unforgettable androgynous visual revolution, it remains their signature masterpiece. Love is a Stranger, 1983, the earlier synth-driven hit that showcased their sophisticated, icy cool sound. Here Comes the Rain Again, 1983, a majestic orchestral ballad that cemented their reputation for cinematic production and emotional depth. There Must Be an Angel, Playing With My Heart, 1985, their only UK no. A soaring, soulful track featuring Stevie Wonder, marking their successful pivot toward R&B influence. Would I Lie to You, 1985, a powerful guitar-driven soul rock stomper that dominated US charts and highlighted their versatility. Missionary Man, 1986, the blues rock powerhouse that won them a Grammy, showcasing their gritty, full-band sound. From the chilly minimalist genius of their early records to the passionate, full-bodied sound of their later work, Eurythmics consistently challenged expectations. Annie Lennox, a vocalist of unparalleled emotional range and depth, along with Dave Stewart, a visionary sonic architect, created a discography that is both artistically profound and commercially monumental. Eurythmics are more than just an 80s band. They are an enduring standard of pop excellence. Their music, born from a breakup, became a universal soundtrack of resilience and transformation. Decades later, their anthems still pulse with an urgency and sophistication unmatched by their peers. Their legacy is not just one of hit songs, but of courageous artistry, proving that the deepest connections, even when broken, can create the most beautiful and lasting dreams.